everyone. Emily Baker, Aaron Simons here with a Mega Listing Agent. And today we have our special guest, Jesse Kern from Des Moines, Iowa. Jesse, tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Yes, Jesse Kern here, Des Moines, Iowa. I've been with Keller Williams since the beginning. So Keller Williams born and bred, 11 years. So I'm also a broker associate with my Market Center Keller Williams Legacy Group. And yeah, I've been selling in the Des Moines, Iowa metro. It'll be 11 years this summer.
11 years. That's awesome. So you are not new to real estate or KW. And yet, Jesse, you've taken our Mega Listing Agent and our listing presentation clinics, and you've continued to invest in your growth. And I'd love to hear, why is it that you've been a real estate agent for 11 years? Why do you continue to go to trainings and learn?
Sure. So my one-on-one MAPS coach is David Jones, who is my first ever bowl coach 10 years ago before I'd even sold anything. And he became my coach last year. And so really, I see one-on-one coaching as like implementation, and then taking group coaching, like your class, the Mega Listing Agent, as training. And it's really pairing those two together because you guys give the training specifically like skill sets. And then I go to the one-on-one coach for like, hey, keep me on target here for what I say I want to do. And I would just add basically, because the market's changing. I mean, in the 11 years I've been doing this, I mean, there's not been as much technology changes, perhaps. I mean, there's way more social media now than there used to be. However, we're in a skills-based market, much different from what it was when, 2020, 2021, or even before.
And Jesse, I love that you make that connection from your one-on-one coaches for implementation, and then you come and you learn in the trainings in terms of the skills to then go implement. And that's why we wanted to have you on today, because as a result of going through our trainings and even our virtual clinic, you've been putting up some pretty remarkable results that, anytime someone is looking at signing up for something, they always want to know, is it going to work? Does it work? And you're here as proof that yes, it does. So what were a few of your experiences most recently that we saw you post about where you went and you put it to work?
Right. So when David became my coach about this time last year, we really got listing focused, and I had never really been that listing focused. I, have a great buyer's agent personality, I've been told, and I've always had the privilege of having mortgage lenders send me business early in the business. And so most recently, it's like, okay, you got to list to last. Listings are the inventory. That's the product on the shelf. So that's really where we got to put our attention. So with the listing focus in my one-on-one coaching, I took y'all's MLA class again and got really clear on my listing presentation. I've listened to things over the years. I've been using the data tracker, Emily, from the first time I took the class in 2022. Love that thing. I've been doing golden letters, which this last time I took a class really helped me clarify my golden letter conversation, because I've been doing those for over a year, and it's just being the kid of a pastor's kid. It's like, would you sell your house to a client of mine? And they're like, well, who's your client? And I feel like, well, so I had to like just be kind of, you guys help me overcome those hurdles with the fiduciary conversation, and just, I have 25 buyers in my pipeline. They're going to do something in the next 6, 12 months or less. So don't know if you'll be an exact fit, but let's have a conversation.
There's two things I wanted to kind of double click on, if that's okay. Number one, you talked about golden letters, which is one of our favorite lead gen levers for listings. And then number two, you talked about the data tracker, which is one of our favorite conversion tools, especially at the listing table. And so if you can, just on the golden letters, what has that looked like? Because to your point, you might have heard about it once, you kind of questioned, is it something I should do? You bit the bullet, you've been doing it. Just give us a little bit of color on what the golden letters have looked like for you in implementing that system.
You said in the class, set the appointment ASAP. So there's basically two pieces to it. Ring, ring, thanks for calling me. I got your message. Are you planning on a move? They say yes or no. Then it's basically just out of curiosity, are you wanting a quick sell for the convenience of that? Or are you wanting top dollar that today's market will yield? And then that right there, most of them are top dollar. And then I say, well, as a fiduciary, I have to be honest with you. If you want top dollar for the property, you're going to be best served by taking it out on the open market. Would you be open to save you time, save me time, save the buyer time, having me come over, walk through the property through the eyes of the buyer, and bringing market data that the algorithms can't keep up with, so that you can make informed decisions that's in the best interest of you and your family? And that right there just like neutralizes. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First off, I don't know who told you you have a personality for a buyer agent. I mean, you're killer on the conversations because you nailed it. That's one of the, when we teach golden letters, that right there is one of the key conversations that we use to take it from, bring your buyer to, let's talk about a listing. You nailed it. And to your point, that's that one little nuance that we go through in the course when we teach golden letters that you nailed. Now, more importantly, you made a point that, Emily, I think is important, in that you've got 25 buyers right now. And you're now using the golden letter to leverage those buyers into helping you, number one, service the buyers. Hey, if they're looking in a certain area, well, let's go do a little bit of direct mail and see if we can find a seller for them. While at the same time, maybe that then turns into a listing for us as well.
Definitely.
I love that.
Same. Jesse, also, you had messaged me that you had signed 4 listings in 3 days. And the market data tracker is something that you're using competitively, right, to win against additional agents. What specifically with just macro, micro market data tracking, what impact has that had in your presentation and your confidence transitioning to being listing focused?
I have my listing finder right here, my Keller Williams Red. So I start with that macro United States data, which
Yeah.
you had added this past class, which I love because then, it shows the trend line, shows that we're above the trend line, shows that 2024 was a down year, which is like 2008 or 1995, and then can compare like what happened after those years, and then that we're still above the trend line, so prices might come down, which they definitely were past fall. And then I also love the bar graphs where it shows just the inventory throughout the course of the year as well as the number of sales, because that makes it really clear that this time of year coming out of winter into spring is like the best time to list because you don't have the active competition listing inventory counts you're going to have May, June, but you've got the people who are motivated to get out in the snow and the cold as it warms up.
The fact that you're using the data, you're establishing yourself as the expert, it really doesn't leave any question in their mind on, are they making the right decision to hire you?
So then it's like big picture America, big picture of the board, and then specifically your neighborhood or zip code, depending on how much, how the layout of the land is in terms of what the inventory counts are. And, right now, like it's kind of surprising. Des Moines in like 3.5 months of inventory, which, 4 months is still a seller's market. This is the weakest the market's ever been since I've been doing it for 10, 11 years.
That right there is the power of that tracker, right, Emily? I mean, when we can show somebody that, whatever they're seeing in the headline, and we don't know what they're seeing in the headline, yet when
Right.
we're showing up with the facts and we can show them what the trend is, whatever pushback that they might have had on pricing, that kind of takes all the wind out of their sails, in addition to making you the expert.
Yeah, and then in this past class also, you said use 2 actives, 2 pendings, and then 2 solds. So because inventory counts have been so low, that just kind of gave me permission to be like, that's okay. You may not, especially with, it's easy to find for solds in the past 6 months, but actives and pendings that are fairly comparable can be a challenge. So, and then in light of all the other data, macro and the board and so forth, it's like you don't need quite as many of those actives and pendings right now to paint the picture.
This has been so great. We have really appreciated this, and we're excited for you to continue to take market share there in Des Moines.
Thank
So
you.
anyone watching this, if you need a strong listing agent who is the economist of choice in Des Moines, send your referrals to Jesse because he's going to educate, validate, and drive the urgency to move your referrals along so you get paid quicker. Right, Aaron?
That's right. And like I said, what I loved about you, Jesse, is that, you've taken what you've learned, you're now implementing it, and listings are now piling up in a good way.
Yes.
What it does is it shows that what Emily and I teach is not theory, it's from the trenches, because we are also in the trenches just like you. We know that it works, right? And as long as you implement the way you are, the listings are out there to take. The listings
Definitely.
Yeah.
I just want to add real quick the data tracker, since I've been tracking it since 2022. I mean, I put that thing in my weekly email, and you guys talk about email call.
Yep.
And, if I don't get a hold of him on a call, sometimes that email just speaks for itself and gets the price reduction. And that's been super important in the market recently because sellers still think we're in 2020 and 2021. So I feel a confidence from having taken the course a couple times of like, there's no questions about what I need to do or what I need to talk about. And I know that I can serve people at the highest level when I ask for my commission.
There it is. It works, Emily.
It works.
Here with Jesse, it works.